Hey everyone, and a big welcome to all my new and returning viewers. Thanks for tuning in. What if I told you that this bill, for $450, and this one, for just $30, came from the exact same house with the exact same solar panels? I know, it feels like a scam, right? You did everything you were supposed to. You invested in solar to get free, clean electricity from the sun. And yet, when you open your power bill, it's still painfully high. So what's going on? Here's the crazy part. Your panels are working perfectly. They're doing their job. The problem is, you're giving away your most valuable power for pennies, only to buy it back from the utility company for dollars just a few hours later. It's an infuriating cycle. In this video, I'm going to show you the simple trick the power companies would rather you not know. It's how you can take back control, store the free energy you're already making, and absolutely slash your bill. Let's break down this frustrating mystery. You see the sun shining, you know your panels are generating electricity, but the bill just doesn't add up. The whole issue boils down to a simple mismatch in timing. Your solar panels crank out the most electricity right in the middle of the day. Think late morning to late afternoon, when the sun is high and you're probably at work. But when do most of us actually use the most power? It's in the morning chaos of getting ready, and especially in the evening. We get home, flip on the lights, start cooking, run the dishwasher, and fire up the TV. That's when our power demand skyrockets. So, what happens to all that valuable solar power your roof is making during the day while you're gone? It has to go somewhere, so it flows right out of your house and onto the grid. Your utility company buys it from you, usually through a program called net metering. And here's where the gut punch comes in. They pay you a pittance for it, an almost insulting wholesale rate of just a few cents per kilowatt hour. Then that same night, when your panels are dark and you actually need power, you buy it back from them. But you're not buying it back for a few cents. Oh no. You're buying it back at the full retail price, which can be 3, 4, or even 5 times what they just paid you. You essentially paid to turn your roof into a mini power plant for the utility company. They get to use your investment to power their grid, and then they charge you a premium for the favor. It's a system that feels fundamentally unfair, and it's why your bill is still so high. You're stuck generating free power all day, only to pay dearly for it a few hours later. Just when you thought it couldn't get more frustrating, many power companies have added another layer to make this even worse. Time of use pricing, or TOU. Time of use is exactly what it sounds like. You get charged different prices for power depending on the time of day. They slice the day into blocks. Off-peak hours, usually late at night or in the middle of the day, are when electricity is cheapest. And then there are peak hours, typically from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., when demand is highest and electricity is wildly expensive. Now think about how that lines up with your solar panels. Your roof is making tons of free power during those cheap off-peak hours. You sell your excess to the grid for next to nothing. But when do you need to buy power back? Right smack in the middle of those expensive peak hours. You are literally selling low and buying high every single day. The price difference can be staggering. We're talking 12 cents per kilowatt hour for off-peak power, which then rockets up to 35, 45, or even more cents during peak hours. That massive gap is pure profit for the power company, and it comes directly out of your wallet. This is the time of use trap. Utilities say it encourages people to shift their energy use, but for most of us, that's just not realistic. You can't just decide to cook dinner at midnight. You're forced to buy power when it's most expensive, right after you gave yours away. It's a system designed to keep you hooked on the grid, paying their high rates, even with a power plant on your own roof. So, how do you break the cycle? How do you stop giving your power away and start using it for yourself? The answer is beautifully simple. You store it. This is the trick. This is the key to true energy independence. You get a home battery. Think of a home battery as a giant, rechargeable power bank for your house. It's a financial tool and your own personal energy reserve, all in one. The concept is incredibly simple. Instead of letting all that extra solar power you make during the day flow back to the grid for pennies, you use it to charge up your own battery. It's like having a fuel tank for your electricity. During the day, the sun powers your home, and any leftover energy fills up the tank. Then, when the sun goes down and those insane peak rates kick in, your house doesn't pull a single expensive electron from the grid. Instead, it just switches over and runs on the free, clean solar energy you saved in your battery hours earlier. You're no longer a victim of the time of use trap. You're the master of it. You use your own stored energy during the most expensive part of the day, completely sidestepping the utility's peak prices. This strategy is called rate arbitrage, and it's the main way a battery saves you a ton of money. If you've got a big gap between your peak and off-peak rates, a battery can easily save you over $100 a month. And the best part? Modern systems do all of this for you. The software knows your utilities rates and automatically decides when to store power, when to use it, and when to pull from the grid. You don't do a thing. You just enjoy the peace of mind and the much lower power bill. A battery completely changes the game, putting you back in control. If you're starting to get it and you're wondering how much this could actually save you, I've got something that'll help. A simple savings calculator. You can plug in a couple of numbers from your own power bill and see a real estimate for your home. The link is in the description below. It takes less than 2 minutes and gives you a really clear picture of your potential savings. Let's make this real. Meet our homeowner, Sarah. Before getting a battery, Sarah's story is probably familiar. She has a great solar panel system. Her monthly bill used to be around $300, and now it's still $180. She's saving money, sure, but not nearly what she was promised. Her utility has a TOU plan where she gets paid 8 cents for the solar she sends to the grid, but between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., she pays 38 cents to buy it back. That 30-cent gap is costing her a fortune. Now, let's install a battery. A typical home battery stores about 13.5 kilowatt-hours of energy. Here's what happens on day 1. The sun comes up, and her panels get to work. Her home uses what it needs, and all the rest, instead of going to the grid, charges her new battery. By mid-afternoon, it's full. Evening arrives, peak rates kick in, but Sarah's house doesn't care. It automatically starts drawing from the full battery. She cooks dinner, the kids are on their devices, the lights are on. All of it powered by the sun from hours ago. She completely avoids buying that expensive 38-cent electricity. The result? Her daily energy cost plummets. In her case, using stored energy during that peak window saves her between $5 and $15 a day. At the end of the month, her new bill arrives. It's not $180 anymore. It's $25, which for her is just the basic grid connection fee. But it gets better. A few months later, a storm knocks out power to the neighborhood. Her neighbors are pulling out candles. But at Sarah's house, the lights are on. That's the battery's other trick, backup power. It detected the outage instantly and, in a fraction of a second, switched over to power her essential circuits. The fridge stays cold, the Wi-Fi works, and her family is safe. For Sarah, the battery didn't just slash her bill, it gave her energy security. Okay, at this point you're probably thinking, this sounds amazing, but what's the catch? How much does it cost? And do I have to have solar panels? These are exactly the right questions. First, the cost. Let's be real, there's an upfront investment. As of 2025, installing a home battery system can range from $9,000 to $19,000, with an average around $13,000. That's a chunk of change, but 2 things are critical to know. First, battery prices have been falling fast. And second, there's the federal solar tax credit. If you install a battery, you can claim a 30% tax credit, which is a dollar-for-dollar reduction on your taxes. But this is critical. Due to recent legislative changes, the 30% residential clean energy credit is set to expire at the end of 2025. There is no gradual step down. To qualify for the full 30% credit, your system must be fully installed and operational by December 31st, 2025. This makes the timing incredibly urgent. Next, do you need solar panels? Surprisingly, no. If you live in an area with those time-of-use rates, you can install a standalone battery and play the same game. You just program the battery to charge from the grid at night when power is super cheap, and then use that stored energy during the expensive peak hours. You're still using rate arbitrage to save money, even without a single solar panel. Finally, is it worth it? Beyond the bill savings, a battery adds real, tangible value to your home. Some studies suggest that for every dollar you save annually on energy, your home's value can increase by about $20. A system that saves you $700 a year could add $14,000 to your home's resale value. Not to mention, homes with solar and batteries often sell faster and for more money. That frustrating feeling of having solar panels but still getting a high power bill? It doesn't have to be your reality. The problem was never your panels. It's the outdated system of giving away your power for cheap and buying it back for a premium. A solar battery is the trick that lets you break free. It lets you store the free energy you're already making and use it when it counts the most. It's the key to slashing your bill, protecting your family from blackouts, and finally declaring your own energy independence. You're no longer just a customer of the power company, you're in control. If you're tired of overpaying and want to finally unlock the true power of your solar investment, it's time to look into a battery. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more ways to save money and control your energy. And don't forget to check out that savings calculator linked below. We'll see you in the next one.